Hello and welcome to the presentation and demo of the Timebox Planning Widget, and I would like to show you in this demo why you will love this new rational team concert widget with safe support for Timebox-based planning. So let's go to RTC. Here we are within RTC in a safe template project. So first of all, I would like to show you this area of safe, the program layer, how you can use the Timebox Planning Widget version 2 for the roadmap. So here we have this Timebox Planning Widget. We open it for editing, and you see here horizontally we have the program backlog, then we have the art green program increment 1, program increment 2, program increment 3. So a typical use case is that we want to add a new feature in the backlog. So let's go to the work item menu. We create a work item of type feature. We will see this one in a new tab. So we call this one Mandalay Bay feature. We file it against art green. It's the art green, and we plan it for art green product backlog. Art green product backlog. So we save this work item. We go back to the roadmap and refresh this view. And now we see here at the bottom in the program backlog this new feature, Mandalay Bay feature. So next step is that we plan the roadmap. So for example, I decide that this Mandalay Bay feature should be implemented in the program increment 1. So I just drag and drop this new feature into PI1. And it's instantly saved. Now you see here at the bottom this new feature. So the next step is that we go to the planning workshop or program increment workshop. We switch the tab, and here we see basically the same. So we have to refresh this view in order to see the new feature we've just created. So if we open this view, we see here in the program increment 1 this Mandalay Bay feature. And you see the features have different heights. And so this is because the children, the complexity, the story points of the children of the stories are automatically represented here in this feature. So here we see up here, this one has several features, several stories as children. And here the Mandalay Bay feature is still empty. There are no children yet. So next, we create new stories. So that's a typical use case here in the planning workshop. We use the context menu of this work item, of this feature, and we go to the entry extras, create child item, and we create a linked story as parent-child. We call this story Mandalay Bay story team yellow. We file it against the team yellow and plan it for Sprint 2.1. So after refresh, you see that this feature is cross-hatched. That means that at least one story is not aligned in the plan with this program increment 2. And this is why we planned this story for Sprint 2.1. This is the sprint in planning increment 2, so that's too late. And so we can see this as a crosshatch of this feature. So this information is also visualized through this exclamation mark. Okay, so we create another story for the team red. Create the child item type story. We call this one Bay team red. We file it against the team red and plan it correctly for sprint 1.2, for example. Sprint 1.2. That's fine. That's within program increment 1. We save and close it. So now we see here also this story for team red. Now we change the number of story points. The default is 0. We set this one to 5, to a large. And after refresh, you realize that this feature represents the 5 story points of this first story. We go to the yellow team story, edit to this and set it to Excel. Save and close. And now you see that 13 story points are represented in this view by this feature. So it adds up the complexity of all underlying stories. So now we still have this story, which is too late in the plan. So in the next step, we go to this team program increment planning, where we see all team activities, all planned stories, the teams. We open this one. We find here our story, Mandalay Bay story of Team Yellow, which is planned for Sprint 2.1. And it is also here in the story release backlog cross-hatched. So what we can do here, or what we need to do here, is to drag and drop this story to a Sprint 1.x. So 1.5 would be okay, or this one. So we just drop it here, and we see that after refresh, the crosshatch has gone. So now we are fully aligned with the program increment planning. And if we go back to the PI planning tab, and if we refresh here, then also the crosshatch has gone here. So last, we can have a look at one team, for example, team yellow. And here it's pretty nice because we can use the velocity dashed line in order to make sure that our team is not overloaded. And here, for example, the velocity of this yellow team is 7. And you see that this new Mandalay Bay story is now too much for this team. So here we have an overload. So thank you for listening. This was the demonstration of the new Timebox Planning Widget version 2 with safe support.